Thank you, Kathleen, and good morning to you all. In our introduction to Won Buddhism class, we say that Won Buddhism incorporates the essential principles of traditional Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. One of the ways to understand Won Buddhism is to take a deeper look at these three traditions. The very first verse from chapter 2 of our scripture book on doctrine elaborates on the relationship between Won Buddhism and these three ancient philosophies. In a lengthy passage, the founding master said, "In the past, the founders of religions have appeared according to their own proper time to guide all sentient beings on how to conduct their lives. Just as there are different specialties within the field of medicine, their main focuses differed according to their era and reason. Buddhism took the formlessness of all things in the universe as its core principle and taught the truth of no arising and no ceasing, and the truth of cause and effect to illuminate a path through which ignorance is transformed into awakening. Confucianism, by contrast, took the forms of all things in the universe as its core principle and taught 3 duties, 5 relationships, and the 4 constants of benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom. These principles were designed to illuminate a path in which each person cultivates themselves, regulates their family, governs their country, and realizes peace in the world. Taoism took the way of the natural universe as its core principle and taught methods of nourishing our true nature, illuminating a path of tranquility and non-action. Although these 3 traditions have core principles that differ from one another, they all have the common goal of healing the world and benefiting living beings. However, Sotaesan continued, in the past, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism have mainly disseminated their own doctrines. But in the future, an approach limited to each individual doctrine will not be enough to deliver the whole world. Hence, we have synthesized all these traditions into the threefold practice of cultivation, inquiry, and choice to brightly reveal the universal truth of Il One, one circle. In this integrated approach, spiritual and physical life shall be improved and balanced together, the wholeness of spirit and body. And universal principles and human affairs shall be simultaneously practiced. Sotaesan concluded, whoever practices this well will penetrate not only the essential teachings of these 3 traditions, but also the teachings of all true religions in the world. All dharmas under heaven will return to the one mind, so that we are able to attain the great way that reaches everywhere. Attain the great way that reaches everywhere. I first encountered this passage in seminary, but it has taken this long for me to be able to talk about it. Let's now take a dive into history to help us better understand this long, encompassing passage. Are you ready? Buddhism. As most of you are aware, Buddhism was started about 2,500 years ago by Siddhartha Gautama in the 5th century BCE. Master Suttesen stated that Buddhism took the formlessness of all things in the universe as its core principle. Formlessness refers to emptiness, no self, or non-duality. The ultimate goal of early Buddhist practice was to enter nirvana. Later, in the Mahayana practice, the focus became realization of emptiness, no self. Unlike Confucianism, the Buddhist journey is more geared toward the liberation of self. Although Buddhism offers bodhisattva ideals and practical precepts, the teachings in general do not articulate specific solutions for societal matters. Confucianism takes a different approach. It offers specific guidelines to keep proper boundaries and bonds among human relationships. Confucianism was developed in China in the 5th century BCE by Confucius, who was a philosopher and politician. Its main principles include 3 duties, 5 relationships, and 4 constant virtues. The 3 duties refers to the fundamental bonds between father and son, king and subjects, husband and wife. The guidance for these relationships referred to responsible roles and expectations understood culturally at the time. In addition, Confucianism values 5 fundamental relationships. 1. Between parents and children, there should be closeness and care. 2. Between rulers and subjects, there should be loyalty. 3. Between spouses, there should be respect. 4. Between elders and younger people, there should be deference. And 5. Between friends, there should be trust. In Confucian society, these 3 duties and the ethics of 5 relationships were honored in order to develop a strong, responsible societal structure. In Confucianism, 4 original virtues of human nature were also emphasized: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, and wisdom. Now we can see why Master Suttesen said that Confucianism focused primarily on societal forms and structures as its core principle. Now, Taoism. In response to the hierarchic formality of a Confucian practice, Taoism became prominent in the 4th century BCE. In the chapter on doctrine, Taoism is described as the way to nourish original nature, illuminating the path of tranquility and non-action. Despite its focus on the natural universe, Taoism contains some supernatural and mysterious elements. Nevertheless, being aligned with the Tao of the universe, Won Buddhism focuses on cultivating the mind and body and balancing our qi energy through meditation. At the end of his opening passage on doctrine, Master Suttesen said, "We synthesized all these traditions into the threefold practice of cultivation, inquiry, and choice to brightly reveal the universal truth of Il-One. What does this mean? With deep appreciation and greatly opened mind, our founding teacher, Sotaesan, incorporated the strengths of each of the three ancient spiritual traditions into the threefold practice of Won Buddhism. Cultivating the spirit is grounded on the strength of Taoism through the restoration of original true nature. Inquiry into universal principles and human affairs is grounded on the strength of traditional Buddhism. Choice in action is grounded on the strength of Confucianism with the focus on ethical behaviors. The threefold practice is a tool that guides us to directly experience universal truth. The great way of Won Buddhism did not just spring from Sotaesan's individual mind. Upon his enlightenment, he openly adopted ancient wisdom and traditions. He said that whoever embodies the truth of Il-One through the threefold practice, cultivation, inquiry, and choice, will penetrate not only the essence of Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism, but also the teachings of all great religions in the world. Truth is one, paths are many. Il-One, one circle, symbolizes the aspiration of embracing all faiths and traditions. In 2023, may we hold Sotaesan's broad vision for one truth and one mind in our hearts. All dharmas under heaven will return to the one mind, so that we are able to attain the great way that reaches everywhere.